Hello, TikTok people. Um, I know I've been told to, not talk about this subject because I've been told that people get bored about me talking about it, but people don't have to follow me, they don't have to listen to me. But I made a TikTok video a few days ago. It was my first TikTok video that started to go viral. And then TikTok took it down for reasons I still don't know. And I'll never know. But that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. Back in 2020, I think it was 2020, I'm not 100% sure, it could be like the year before, but I witnessed something that changed my life. Actually, I saw something when I was about 12 with my cousins that I've talked tirelessly about, and that was when I was about 12 years old. Me and my cousins, there was about 4 of us. I was up in Redcliffe visiting them. I was actually born Redcliffe. But anyway, I was visiting my cousins in, I think I can mention the street now. It was in Higlet Street. And, we were young. I was about 12. My cousins were maybe a little younger. And when I'd visit my cousins, we used to watch, back in the day, VHS movies all night, horror movies, while my mother and my aunties would play cards and have a few drinks. And, as long as we were out of their hair and watching movies, they didn't care what we did. It was the late 80s, early 90s, the good old days, yeah? This particular night, I don't know whose idea it was, but we decided that we would sneak out. Now, Higlet Street in Redcliffe was only maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from the beach. Now, I call it Redcliffe Beach, but the actual part of the beach was Queen's Beach. You can look it up. But I just call it Redcliffe. Any beach in Redcliffe is Redcliffe Beach to me. So me and my cousins thought it'd be a good idea to sneak out. My mother and aunties, they didn't care. They didn't know, I should say. They were playing cards, having drinks. So we were walking along the beach, and my cousin, I believe it was Sean, first saw this like shooting star up in the sky. And he said, look, shooting star. We all looked up, and just as you would imagine, it looked like a shooting star. It was falling down, coming down, but then it started changing its direction and started heading towards us. Don't ask me how far off the ocean this star object was. I'm not good with, distinguishing heights, or I don't know. But talking to my cousins all these years later, they said that it would have been as big as a large airplane, whatever. But this object, right, it looked like a bright golden metally type object that at first looked like just like a shooting star, but as it got closer, it started to slow down. It stopped. It hovered above the water. Okay, we're right next to the beach, and then it started to go in circular motions, and then it stopped again. It went on a slight angle like that, and then it took off. Now, me and my cousins were a little freaked out, whatever. So we ran all the way back home. We bolted home. And we were that excited to tell our mum and our aunties what had just happened that we didn't even remember that we'd snuck out. So, we burst through the front door and start telling our mums and aunties what we'd just seen, but they weren't interested. All they wanted to know was why we snuck out. And we were put to bed, and our video VHS rights were taken away for the night. Like I said, it was the 80s, man. Early 90s. But that was my first encounter with what I believe was UFOs, right? Fast forward 2020 or 2019, whatever. But I encountered something that has changed my whole, even though I saw that back when I was 12, what I'd seen has changed my whole view on life. This thing was cloaked to begin with, hooded. It was in like a hooded cloak, and then when it shot off into the other room, the cloak fell away from it, and the cloak disappeared in front of my eyes on the floor. Okay. The two main things I remember about this non-human entity, or whatever you want to call it, was its hair. Its hair was like it had a life of its own. The back of it was like, it moved like that, like in waves. And it was the brightest colour, like a bright white colour. Its eyes were the darkest, blackest eyes like you could think of. And it didn't want to interact with me. It actually, I felt like it was annoyed that I could see it, to be honest. I've got to cut this short. So, look, if there are any government officials or agencies that monitor these sort of videos, and I know you do, if my description is good compared to a lot of the other crap you get, so if I've said something that sparks your interest, then contact me. You tell me what you know, or tell me something, then I'll tell you exactly where this encounter took place. Because I believe that this particular place is like a porthole, because other things have happened there. Not just my encounter, but other things have happened. So you reach out to me, and one thing, I can keep a secret. Okay? But yeah, its hair moved like that, and it was the whitest colour, like a bright. I don't know how to explain it, but it was moving like that. Okay, and its cloak was like a dark brown colour, but I don't know, the material looked like something like, I can't explain. But when the cloak fell away from it, it disappeared.